Welcome back to this week's Recruitment 101. I am Katie Meakin of H2 Consultancy. Now, you usually see our director, Karen Hargreaves, behind the screen, but today it's my turn. And I am delighted to be joined by Karen Haywood. So Karen, would you like to introduce yourself and we can jump straight in because I am super excited.
Oh, thank you for having me. Yes, KH Executive Coaching. I mentor managers and leaders in the recruitment sector to retain and grow business.
Brilliant. Shall we jump straight in?
Oh, let's.
What is top of your list, Karen, for Recruitment 101?
Well, as we've discussed, I have 3 hot buttons. The first one on my list is ageism. Quite a sensitive one for some. I was that hiring manager that probably, in my youth, in my 30s, when I first started in management, I was probably, a HR nightmare really, because I'd say, I want this and I want that, and I don't want this, and I don't want that. And people of a certain age was definitely in that list.
Yeah.
I'd look at my team, I was 30. I'd look at my team and think, well, they're all sort of, in their 20s, early 20s at that. And I just, didn't want in particular people of a certain age to join the team. I am that person who is of that certain age now. And I've realised that, hey, it was such a wrong thing to do. It was of a different time. It was in the 90s, admittedly, where, you could say things a bit more openly about what you did. However, I now look at that and I think, well, you missed out on so much talent, for one. And also people of a certain age, their priorities have changed. They're probably, they probably climbed to the top of the ladder and realised the view isn't that great. And they probably, they get there and they've done their hours, they've done the travelling, they've had all the responsibility.
They've been there, haven't they? That's it.
And their priorities have changed. Now I hit 50, my priorities have changed. My son, no longer needed to be in childcare. That's £1,000 a month.
Wow.
Some people pay more than that, but £1,000 a month. So that was no longer there. My need for wanting to be, closer to home. And when I applied for a job, I thought, oh, I could do this standing on my head. I would so enjoy it. It was just, it's had, ticked so many things. And I rang the guy and I was really excited. He was really excited. And then we got down to detail and he was asking me, what did you used to earn? I told him, I weren't going to lie.
Yeah.
And, I told him about, my motivation to do the job and the fact that it was on, on my doorstep. And I thought, I could just so make you look really good. I just so want this job.
This is the one.
And I could just tell his interest when I told him. And he was probably doing the maths and thinking, oh, she's one of those, she's in the 50s. And because he was saying, oh, I'll train you, you've got no experience in this sector, but I'll train you and I'll do this, I'll do that. And his mood just dropped, and even worse, he says, I'll be in touch, and he never did.
No.
And I just thought, no.
Just based on, because he'd done the maths and worked out your age?
I think so.
Yeah.
Obviously, no one's telling you this. No one tells you this.
No one says it outright, do they? But if, like you said, if the conversation is literally, it started off up here and it's gone down here as soon as he's done the maths in his head and he's probably written your number on the top of his CV, and yeah, it's such a shame because I know we discussed this just before we jumped on to the video, but us at H2 Consultancy, if we've got a great individual, regardless of their age, we will always put them forward to our hiring business. And, I just think I'm an advocate of giving everybody a chance regardless of their age. Some people wouldn't, but, we will. And, I suppose it takes you back to the point of you could say things before, couldn't you? But now we're just in a different world, aren't we?
Yeah, and quite rightly, really, because I don't consider myself to be a typical. What do we think when we think of a 50-plus-year-old person? We think that they're probably too fixed, We probably think that they're no good with IT. We probably think that, you know, we're in our autumn years. Now, I wrote that down. I thought someone was described, you know, people in the 50s and, you know, 50s, 55 as autumn years. I mean, goodness, I don't feel like I'm in the autumn years.
No.
Some days I do, but not, you know, in terms when it comes to work, you know, and, you know, banter, you know, I mean, goodness, people of my age group, we're Generation X, and what did we do? We lived on sarcasm. You know, we was brought up on sarcasm, so we're the kings and queens of banter. Surely, you know, we invented that.
I agree.
We invented the internet.
Wow.
The millennials came along and, you know, upgraded it. But yes, you know, of course, you know, I look at my parents, and you know, when they were in their 30s, they all look 50, you know, that age group. And yes, you know, that sort of preconceived idea probably is there of a certain generation, you know, of our parents' age group. But that sort of 45, 55, like you say, even to 60,
yeah,
you know, we're not the same. You know, the 50s are the new 40s. You know, it's that sort of thing. So, you know, I think it's really wrong for people to, like you said earlier, people are still asking, even today, you know, how old are these people? And really that should bear no relevance anymore. See them and make your own mind up, rather than seeing it on paper and think, oh, they're going to be some crusty old fool that's going to be, you know, like stabbing at the keys.
Exactly.
Like my parents are in their 80s.
Yeah. Or they'll only give me a year or two. Well, that could be said for anybody. You don't know. You hire somebody into your business, you don't know how long they will last. They could last 6 months, they could last a year, they could last 10. So why not give somebody either really young, you know, a good shot, or at the other end of the spectrum, you know, why not give somebody a shot? You know, it shouldn't just be about age. So I'm voting that goes in Recruitment 101's bin. Yeah, so that's thumbs up for the first one, Karen. So for anyone that's just joined us, I'm Katie Meakin of H2 Consultancy, and I'm joined by Karen Haywood, and we are having a bit of light-hearted fun on this rainy Tuesday after the bank holiday. We're discussing all things Recruitment 101. So what's next on your list, Karen? What's your second topic?
Well, I did a post on this, and it just blows my mind. Obviously, I don't recruit for people anymore. However, you know, part of my role, I support, you know, recruitment businesses to look at, you know, making them more efficient.
Yeah.
Looking at, you know, their recruitment policies, and, you know, who are they recruiting, and what sort of culture are they, you know, do they want to outwardly let people know this is who we are, what we do.
Yeah.
And so I started to do some digging on the quality of adverts, and obviously I see some on LinkedIn, and it just blows my mind when people who are advertising this fantastic opportunity then list a whole job spec. It's a list as long as your arm. It's an entry-level job. It's £18,000 a year, and they're calling it a fantastic opportunity. You know, they've got everything by the kitchen sink as the job spec. It's as dull can be. And I'm sorry if I offend any Rachels in HR here, but I read it and I think, this is written by somebody who hasn't got a clue of what's actually happening on the shop floor.
Yes.
What is happening for those people who are, you know, digging around in the dirt trying to find good quality applicants. The only thing that drives them into wanting to do a good day's work is the banter in the office. You know, John, who's I know, got problems with his missus, and it's discussion, it's laughter, it's having banter of a day. That's the only thing that is driving us. Oh, I want to go to work today to, you know, have fun, try and do the best that they possibly can in the day. And these adverts, they just do not express what's that team like to work for. You know, that is so lazy. Why I even saw an advert, you will be making the team. Thinking, sign me up, I want that job. Not
you want and we always say this, you want an advert with, you just want to know about the business. There's no point reeling off the whole job specification. It's pointless. And I think I saw your post actually, and I think you referred to it, you know, it's an entry-level job, and did it have something like obviously the standard holidays that came with it as well? And
oh god, there was one advert, you know, obviously it was an iPhone and an iMac, you know, a MacBook.
Yeah.
Now I'm not that into, you know, eye products. So, you know, my husband, you know, I think would be divorced if I brought any eye products into the house. It's Android all the way, Samsung. But so what? So what if it's an iPhone and it's a MacBook? Obviously, if you're, and it was a recruitment job, so you know, that's what caught my eye. Thinking, how the functionality of a MacBook, how's that going to serve you well? You know, why? What's the point?
And
If he was more artistic, say, or I don't know, I'm not into those products. But it's a laptop and a phone, all said and done.
Standard.
Why
That's
put
what
it in the advert?
Yeah, that's what you get. Yeah, you know, and sometimes like we've, you know, just mentioned on laptop and phone, but when I see like roles and somebody's applied for like an area sales role, this role comes with a car. Well, I'd expect it to come with a car because you're traveling up and down, and you know, we'll cover your mileage. Well, I'd expect you to. That doesn't need to be an advert. I don't think those standard things really need to be said, you know, your standard holidays, you know, your government contribution pension. And I don't really think that needs to go into an advert, but yeah, it's just, yeah.
I think if your pension is over and above
average, yeah, above
if
average.
Your car is over and above what you would ordinarily get. It's not a Ford Mondeo, it's a top of the range, whatever it might be. If that floats your boat, you might think, oh, you know, that's an upgrade on my car. Fair enough. I do get it when people, you know, in my post, and lots of people saying, oh, car parking. I get that. You know, I worked in Leeds, it was £20 a day for car parking. So for someone who, you know, an advert that says we have on-site car parking that's free, fair enough. But it's the mandatory things, like you say, that just blew my mind. You know, a fruit bowl. I think people are over a fruit bowl. I think people are over, you know, the ping pong table and a fruit bowl. People are not, you know, not into that. Proper hybrid working, you know, working from home.
Yes.
You know, the rules are not going to change. People are thinking, I really like working from home. You know, some hybrid working would be considered. People want the black and white. Can I work from home? Can I not work from home?
Yeah.
But these poor adverts, some of them are absolutely atrocious. No wonder they're not getting the traction that they deserve.
No, I'm
so
agree.
Yes.
Yeah. It's gone. I'm firing it in the bin. So 2 out of 2. So third topic. What's your third topic, Karen?
We've kind of covered it a little bit, but poor benefits. If the job hasn't got any benefits, don't try and dress it up. You know, do not dress it up. Don't try and dress the job up to more than what it is. If it's entry level and it pays 18, but it's got, you know, real great banter, it's got great atmosphere, you know, there's other work, there's other reasons why we go to work than just money.
Yeah.
Especially, you know, sort of, you know, entry level kind of areas. But things like, you know, being dishonest, you know, poor excuses, you know, the whole, I think I've messed up here because I've got poor candidate experience. Is that what we said? Poor candidate experience.
Yes.
Is my thing, benefits. So poor candidate experiences, ghosting, dishonesty, you know, poor excuses, people, you know, not really telling them the truth.
Yeah.
You know, you're not a company fit. Equals, in my mind, you're too old. Yeah. You know, you don't fit in with the culture. You know, you're not a cultural fit. Well, you know, there's something there. You know, surely if they advertise that they foster diversity, you know, the line manager who's interviewed you should not be saying, you know, you're not our cultural fit.
I agree.
Because surely with the whole thing for diversity is that you want diversity.
I agree. Yeah.
And you know, the poor excuses that come out, and I read some of these posts, and last year it just broke my heart. Some of these people that, you know, there was it advertised that they responded to vacancies and they felt that they're well qualified, and they just don't get the response. And I think it's just really poor. You know, you know, of course, automation has brought about a lot of efficiencies, but not to speak to people. And those adverts that will say, due to a high amount of applications, we won't be able to get back to you. Why?
Yeah.
Does it not deserve an automated email to say, we have looked at your CV and you know, we're not going to take it any further? You know, we do, if they have the automation to do that, so why can't they do that?
Yeah.
So it's those sort of things that just drive me wild.
Yeah, no, you're right. And I think I see a lot, and again, we're advocates of this, but give somebody, if somebody's taking the time to reply to your business or, an advert that you've posted, pick up the phone, give them a call, and worst case, you keep them on file in case anything else, if anything else comes up. But if they're not right for that role, they'd potentially be right for something else. But, and I do this hand on heart with every candidate I put forward. I always give feedback, always.
That's really good. Admittedly, I spoke to one or two recruiters. I'll never forget one from last year. It was last year, it was the height of the pandemic, and no doubt it was absolutely snowed under with applicants of, with people with inappropriate experience to the role that he was advertising. And I get that. He said on average he used to get 18 people, 18 applicants for a particular role that he was advertising for. And on this occasion, in this time span, it was in the hundreds. There was one, he said it was 458 responses. So wow. I get that, but you would have gone through, if it was something like Broadbean, you would have gone through and just scanned your CV, and you would have red, amber, green. You would have put them in the system. Red for no, amber maybe, green is a definite. Got to call them. You would have scanned through them. If you're doing a proper job, you would have scanned through them and ditched all the ones that are in red. Why not at least send them an email to say, thank you for your response, we'll keep you on record. Doesn't matter whether it's 44 or 400, you would still go, if you're a good recruiter, you'll still go through that process, and you would have done it. To not do it is criminal. It's
like, in my opinion, it is lazy, and you're giving somebody, although you say no at this point to this particular role, but you're giving somebody hope that somebody is actually applying to you. Somebody's picked your CV up, they've seen it. Yes, it's not, it's not going to go ahead on that day, but they've had a response. And I think that is so important, because, I've been on the other end of job seeking, of course, haven't we all? But to get a reply meant more to me than hear nothing back, because you just think, well, what's happened to my application? Has it just gone into thin air?
You just go into this black hole. There was a guy that I helped last year. I remember seeing him. I was doing my dinner, and I saw a 5-minute video, and I just know when sometimes you see that length of video, you think, but I don't know, there's something about him. And he described his day. I get up, I apply for my jobs. By 10 o'clock, I've done all the chores. By 11 o'clock, my day is done. And this guy sounded really depressed. And his video was 5 minutes. And he was describing the hopelessness, the sheer hopelessness. Again, he was of a certain age. I picked up the phone to him. I said, what could I do to help? And, I spent a good couple of days going through his CV, how to repackage himself, if you like, on his CV, his profile on LinkedIn, the sort of content he could be doing for LinkedIn to raise his profile and also raise his hopes. But the fact that every day, and I know I've done the same, when I told you about the jobs that I was applying for, you apply for jobs that you think, I'm a good fit for that company. And there's lots of vacancies, so you take the time. You're having to tweak your CV, you're having to do a cover letter in some cases. Even worse, you have to do your CV and you have to go through a portal, and there's all loads of time being wasted to get nothing, to get no response back, not even acknowledgement that you've responded. And that is just shocking for businesses that do that practice, and now are probably saying, where are all the good people?
We can't find anybody. We can't find anybody. Where is everybody? And I'm always an advocate of, and I suppose it's the term of don't burn your bridges. If you can't spend 5 minutes out of your day, even just sending an automated response, if you don't have time to pick up the phone, fine, we're all busy, I get that, but just, you never know when your path may cross with somebody. You don't, do you? And it
absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely, Katie. If you're making an effort to respond back and say, you know, for this role, it was unacceptable for the time being, and make it a little bit personal. Again, you can automate it, even making something a bit more personal. You can still automate.
You'll be
It doesn't
remembered.
mean you're sending individual emails to 400 odd people,
No.
and you just don't know who knows who.
Exactly.
That's how I take my take on things.
I'm with you.
And you know, who's to say that in 6 months' time you think I've got the absolute perfect person, and they're going to take your call, and they might say I'm sorted for now, but have you, you know, I've got a friend.
Of course. No, I'm with you. I think we've done 3 out of 3, Karen. I think we've done it. No, it's been great. It's been lovely to chat to you, and I was slightly nervous because this is my first time on a video, and obviously I know it was your first time as well, but it's been fantastic. So thank you very much for joining me. I'm going to close off there, and I'm sure that we'll see each other very soon.
I hope so. I really enjoyed it.
Thanks, Karen.
They're 3 hot topics, and I hope that we've not done something too controversial.
No, I don't think we have. Like I say, it was a bit of light-hearted fun. I think hopefully it tweaks in some people's minds. So thanks again, Karen.
Yes, thank you.